Hello, welcome to the Cornerbird Studio. I've been thinking about it, sitting on it for a long time, and now that I've kind of produced quite a lot of different YouTube content, I was thinking like the name Cornerbird Studio does fit my vibe now. So, and I think like it's a lot easier to find my channel with the name Cornerbird Studio. So that's really nice. Like I can see my latest stuff when I search for my name now, so that's pretty cool. Like it used to just show like really old stuff. So Cornerbird Studio it is. And I think like it fits the vibe of like I like a lot of things, and yeah, like just creating a bird studio is like it creates a place, like a corner where I can just do my own shit. Anyway, as promised in the last stream, I'll be working on this today. This amazing shit. Feel like I really can't stop laughing looking at this. Like it's so amazing. I've been working on a few stuff. So I work on this Cornerbird slime inspired by the amazing Dragon Quest. And this is Elden Ring Mesmer. I did a sculpt of him a while back, and I'm just reusing the mesh. And this is from the current work in progress Night Rain. This is Wilder, and yeah, I was thinking like I'm going to, because like the support that I've gotten through my art journey has been so amazing. I feel like there isn't a lot of interactions because my channel is small, and like I feel like I'm not consistent yet. But I feel like whenever I get that one or two response, or like just like that one or two YouTube live chat interactions, I feel like they've been really amazing. So I want to give back to you guys and do a tutorial that has been requested, which is on scale armor. I'm just monitoring a bit because like I'm kind of like putting my iPad on the limit, I think. Like I hope it's not too warm. I'm like feeling how warm it's getting. I'm not going to work on this, and I guess it's quite dark. Let me just open this up a bit, because on the mat cap it's going to be really bright. Right now the lighting is like the lighting is like here. There's a spotlight here, and there's like 1, 2, 3 what's it called? Point lights. So the characters here is not really lit. Right now it's just lit by the post-processing. So if I turn off post-processing right now, it's pretty... Oh, it's not too dark. Wait, what? Oh, I guess because the post-processing is like increasing the contrast. Huh, okay. Maybe I need to adjust that. But so what was I talking about? Okay, I'm just gonna keep it at this brightness, but I'll like close the aperture later on. Or is it increase the aperture or close it? I guess increase it. And then, oh right, I was talking about my next YouTube tutorial will be about scale armor, which is just these tiny areas here and this one. But as usual, I really like doing the stuff that I do. So like one of the days last week, I was thinking to myself, like what kind of crazy shit can I do for this next tutorial? Because I have two characters which have scale armor. That's why I'm using them for the tutorials. Like this area here and this area here. It's really small. And I was thinking like, I like Jojo stuff. I love Jojo so much. So why not post them in Jojo poses? And this is like the most... I'm feeling the temperature. Hopefully the aircon is going to help. Yeah, hopefully the aircon helps. And look at this steel ball run. Oh my god. I think this one's a bit darker. It's so amazing. I feel like I'm just like for this specific project, I'm just really amazed with like yeah, and just you see how cute this is? And like look at this pillow. It's so soft. I think initially okay, let me change it to because I think like having everything on, you're not sure, it's not too bad actually. Maybe rotating it would make it warmer. Was it this one? So like I did this for the previous tutorial. Oh my god, it's lagging a bit. So this was the previous tutorial. I did this. And when I was thinking about the poses, let me hide these. And yeah, it does get laggy. I'm gonna turn this off. When I was thinking of the poses, I was thinking like, what would be the main attraction for this? And I want the slime. I really like this like Mesmer slime ball thing. It's so cute. But I was thinking like, how do I like this kind of took a while to think about. Because at first I was thinking like of choosing one specific pose, but I didn't know which one to choose. And then after that I was like, after that I kind of thought that maybe I should just try and post everyone, like do all the different poses, and then after posing them, I'll choose which one I want for the tutorial. But as I started posting them, I was like thinking to myself, wait, why do I need to choose one? I can just choose everything. I can just do everything. And so this is what it became. Like this one. Wait, wrong one. This one. So Josuke's pose, is it this one? Yeah, I need to work on the hands and all that stuff. So this is Josuke's pose. And then after I started posing them, I was thinking like, wait a minute, I can just rotate him 90 degrees. And sure enough, it's so cute. Like this is just, remember that setting Wilder? So this was just him rotated 90 degrees and it's working so well. It is so amazing. I think this is why like I don't have interest in anything else, because I mean I do have interest in a lot of stuff, but this is why I can spend hours upon hours on Nomad Sculpt and sculpting and all this stuff, because I don't know, it's just so fun. Okay, before I start, and like I will talk through a bit of what I'm going to do for this stream, so you can see like, because this is just a work in progress, and I think I may work with post-processing on later on, but for now while everything is showing through like this, then I'll just use this. I'll use the matte cap, I mean. Yeah. So something cool with the M4 is that now I have RAM. I have a lot of RAM because I chose the 16 gigs model. So I've been having a lot of fun just working with post-processing on sometimes. Like it's really fun to sketch with, and I'll show you my post-processing settings later if you want to recreate this look. So things like this, I will need to fix this like this because I rotated his shoulders and stuff. And then things like the hands. Which one is it? I think this one. So like, oh, I guess it is a fist. Okay. So I guess, yeah, I guess for this the hands are alright. And actually I shrunk this hand, but maybe it should be bigger again. Like at the time I thought that the hand was too big, but now that I look at it again, it's pretty small. And then I don't know what the legs are doing, so maybe I can just keep it like this. And then this one, obviously I have to fix this. So in my final version of the sculpt, because this leg was bent, I have merged this, and so I can see like this one has been no, not this one. Like this one has been merged, so I'll need to split it up to post them properly. So something like that. And I mean things like this, the intersection between the snake and his arms. And the same thing for this, like I've already done the final model for the hands, so I'll need to break the pieces up so that I can open it up for the poses. Because I think like this one, you can see like this hand is straight, so that'll be, and like this one's like obviously wrong, and this one need to work on like moving the cloth and all that stuff. Yeah, and like this is just made for fun, so it doesn't have to be perfect or anything, but maybe I'll just fix whatever I feel is necessary. So that's about it. And before I start, as usual, I want to talk about the different lessons that I want to share some tips on Nomad Sculpt. I also have a tip on something regarding physiotherapy, because I have a chronic injury, and I was thinking like it's I guess it would be cool to share that. So the first things first, if you were in my previous live stream, you notice that let's say if I click this, and then I have dynamic topology mapped to my key press here, like this one. So if I press this, it takes a while to wake up. So if I press this, normally if I press it again, it should toggle. It's the same thing with the symmetry. And by the way, I'm sleep deprived today, because it's really weird. Like sometimes I'm doing a couch to 5K program to try and build up my running stamina, like get my tendons good and healthy for running in the long term. But it's like I don't have an idea. Do you know like how sometimes when you exercise, like on some days I'll feel really tired after an exercise, and on some days I'll feel really awake, and like I don't really know what kind of like level of exercise I need. So I know like if I push really hard, I'll be very sleepy, but the thing of like pushing not too hard, like it's kind of like a hit or miss whether or not I'll be sleepy or really awake a few hours after doing the exercise. So anyway, I couldn't sleep yesterday because I guess I didn't like push hard enough, or like I didn't push hard enough in my running, but I also didn't like push like not hard. So it took a while for me to fall asleep. So I'm sorry if I am jumbled up as usual. So the dynamic topology, usually this like will toggle if I click on this. And like I've been working with this I've been doing my usual sculpting with this not working for a few days, because I noticed it in the last stream. And like I guess I was thinking like, oh, like this is really a bug. like it's not something that I'm imagining, and I think it's not something that I press accidentally somewhere and then like it somehow screwed this up. So I made my first bug report ever on the Nomad Sculpt forum, and it was indeed a bug. I felt so relief. I was like, oh my god, like, am I going crazy? So this is a bug where your key press won't toggle this. So like the symmetry toggle is working. Dynamic topology is not. So like to offset, kind of like to work around that until the next update comes out, I will just like press it on the screen. Moving on to the next tip. So normally I use dynamic topology for everything, or like I use it all the time. So I've been working with this tab, like you can drag it out like this. I've been working with this since like it was possible. But something that I've been noticing since the last, not the last, like since this was available, was that like it kept disappearing. And like I guess I didn't spend the time to like think about why it kept disappearing. So like let's say if it disappears, then I will just like, oh, I need to bring it up again. So it got tedious, and especially when this thing is not, so like if you hold this down, but right, yeah, it will appear back out, but like it gets quite annoying because I just rather this to be like on the screen all the time. So I realized that there is a new, actually I'm not really sure, maybe it's not new, but there is a way you can add the DynTopo shortcut to the bottom screen. And with this one, even if I change to the tools that doesn't use dynamic topology like this one, although I'm not really sure whether or not that will cause some issues. But anyway, if I switch it back and back to this and then back to this, it doesn't disappear anymore. So if you're like me and you use dynamic topology a lot, then you may want to have this, you might want to like drag this out from the bottom bar rather than this one. And I think I'm going to like just try things out and see if I like having this window like permanently here. And then maybe I'll like send in a request on the Nomad Sculpt forum to like make it possible for people like me to just have this on permanently, because like something like the stroke painting, you can also drag this out. This one is like there all the time, even with other, even with other, it's just there all the time. So I want the dynamic topology window to be like this, although I'm not really sure. So I'm going to test this out, and if I really do want it like that, then I will send in a request to, because I'm not really sure whether this is something that other people want, like for it to disappear when it's, because like maybe this is like something that only I want, and if that's the case, then it's not fair for everyone else to like get this thing permanently here if they're not using it. But I have a feeling that I would, you see, it disappeared. And okay, let me just, and the other thing is also when this is deactivated, wait a minute. All right, so the other thing would be if we open this here, when we click on another mesh like this, it will disappear because dynamic topology hasn't been activated for the other meshes. But if you pin this, initially I didn't know what the pin was for because I was just like testing it on like one mesh, but then I realized that when I was clicking around that this would disappear. So this is just so the pin is for it to keep it permanent when selecting other mesh. And then what is it? Oh, right. So like when dynamic topology is not activated, it will minimize the window. And I feel like this is something that I want to have requested because I like this window here constantly. And like it's a bit distracting for me to like for it to like disappear and appear when it's not activated. Like even with the stroke painting, if it's not enabled, you can see like it's still on, like it's still open. So I think it's kind of fair for me to request for this to be always open like that. I think because like I do want to see like what percentage it is that I'm currently on. Oh, hi sorry, I'm really bad with names, but no. Thank you so much for tuning in. Your what's that called? Emoticons, stickers, whatever. Kind of looks like this. Oh yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for liking my stuff. Yeah, back to this. So yeah, I'm going to test this while like I'm aware that this is going on before I send in a request for it. Then the next thing would be let me see. The next thing is on the crease tool. So in my previous live stream, let me just add a new spell. In my previous live stream, I talked about the crease tool and how I use it for drawing. And I want to be more specific than that for this. I realized that I wasn't being like I guess like I didn't explain as clearly as I wanted on like why I use dynamic topology with crease tool. I mean, I did explain it, but I feel like I didn't explain it well. So let's say to sculpt on a new object, you need to validate it. And this was a bit confusing to me at the beginning, but this is essentially just you want to like do your settings and all that. And once you validate, then you can't access the settings anymore. Now it's just about sculpting it. So with the crease tool, if I turn on the wire mesh, by default, a crease tool does this, where it pinches. It's kind of like it grabs the vertices. So if I do more like this, it's more obvious. So you can see like it's pulling the vertices in based on my brushstroke, and it's pulling out like this. So it kind of like creates a peak, like kind of like a mountain range, the more you do it. So like this was something that I kind of like self-taught myself in the beginning, where I realized that I do want to use the crease tool for drawing, but then I have to deal with all these things, and like even when you subdivide it, like you have to subdivide a shit ton to get this to be smooth because it's not following the topology, it's not following the brush strokes. So you can see like even here it got stretched out because there's no enough faces on this. Even when you smooth it out, it's still like very stretched. So with dynamic topology, you can see that it's creating more faces for you. Like that. And that's why it kind of like acts like drawing on the sculpt, because when you create more, like technically doing this, there's more surface area on this sphere right now compared to it being flat. So this way, I can use it as like a drawing tool, like this, like that. So now it's like, compared to like if I turn this off and I do the same thing, see, like this compared to this. So that's kind of like just a little bit of a bit more what's it called, explanation behind how I use crease tool as a drawing tool on my sculpt, like this. And this is, I use this more for my own personal projects where I'm more like, I do more artistic brush strokes kind of look. Then the other thing, oh, there's so many lessons today. The other thing that I just found out too is that when, where are you? Let me see. Kind of reminds me of like some meteorite. Okay, where are you? Oh, right. So the other thing is that I think, let me just check. I think, yeah, so like if I drag this, I'm like holding this down and dragging it, I don't think you're able to reorder this. The same thing with the cameras. I don't think you can change the order of this, but accidentally stumbled on this, where like if you reorder this over here, like so, and then it will update on the lighting tab. And I'm going to undo that because I want the spotlight to be on top. The same thing with, let me see, maybe I want, yeah, I guess like that. Same thing with the cameras. If you reorder it in the outliner, it will be updated like so. So that's something cool that I was like, oh, it's quite nice that I can do that. Because I think previously, like when I get a lot of cameras in the shot, in the scene, it can get really messy because I'll be like, oh, how do I like update and all this stuff. And then, okay, let me just delete this now. Oh, and before I start, something about a lesson related to physio. So because I always work like this, and I used to grip my pen really hard for many years, because like I've been drawing since I was a kid. So, and like I grip really hard. So like recently I've this like chronic injury on this knuckle. Like there's some pain going through here. And I only asked about it on my physio. I guess because it only happened recently maybe. So I asked my physio on like, oh, how do I deal with this pain? And then that's when I learned that, as like I explained in the previous live stream, the muscles on your forearm muscles here, like on both the bottom side and the sides too and the top side, are very connected to the tendons on the fingers. I think like the fingers don't really have muscles, like they are all tendons and ligaments. So for this specific one, let's say if you're feeling some pain here, if you move the finger, this is how like I try to find like which muscle to work on. It's a bit deep, but I think it's like somewhere here. So you want to like roll it out to kind of like stretch the muscle a bit to relieve the tightness here, which will relieve the pain over here. And it's very similar to so I have like injury here where like there's the tendons. I don't really know what the tendon is called, but let me draw like a shitty hand. So the tendons over here that connects to the side of the finger like this, kind of like a wishbone looking tendon, like that. So I injured one of them from bouldering and climbing. But this is also from like a chronic issue of like gripping the pen too much, and then my hand is not flexible. So the same thing, I'll move this, and then it's not that visible because my forearm is not that developed yet. Like I only started bouldering for a few months. I'm trying to make it, you can see like it's moving, like the forearm here. I try to look at the screen and like see where it's moving, but like in person I can see that it's moving. It's like moving here. So I'm going to like press this. Just be careful, like pressing too hard is kind of like you're going to, technically you'll be overstretching your muscles. So sometimes that's why like sometimes when you go for massages that's like really intense, a few hours later you might feel like a rebound effect where like your muscles might feel really tight and like tendons are being pulled. That's because you are like stretching. Like let's say this is the muscle fiber. That's like, you can do things like yoga to like passively stretch it. But when you're like using a massage ball or something to like press into it, you can see like you're technically stretching the muscle a lot. You see like the distance here compared to the distance here. So like if you haven't done it before, like try to be softer. But normally when I feel tightness on the tendons here, then I'll press like this. Like I can feel a lot of tightness on this one, on the muscles here, which is connected to the tendons there. And then like for the pinky, sometimes this tendon be tight, then I'll have to massage this part. And of course exercise and bouldering helps a lot too, to like just like stretch it while being kind of like doing like active stretches on it. And the last thing is also like strength and flexibility is very interconnected when it comes to injuries like this. So like let's say my boyfriend, his flexibility this way is very bad. Like I think he can only go like this way. I can go more like that. But because he's very strong in his forearms, so I guess he kind of like rarely ever need to go like that, because he's always able to keep his grip this way. Whereas for me, I'm more flexible, but because I lack the strength, so sometimes I will kind of like, when I'm like on the climbing wall, and then I'll be like, oh my god, it's so hard, and then I start opening, and then you can see like the tendon and the muscles are at the stretch position, and I'm putting like maximum load on it, and that's how I injured myself. But that's why physio and all this like injuries and all that is really complicated, because it's like you can be very flexible or you can be very strong and it's like completely fine. But I hope that if you stumble onto this live stream and you have problems like me, that like it will help you, because these were things that I learned from like my very good physio sessions, which I have to pay for, giving it to you for free. Oh, and the other thing is like never massage your tendons. So especially for the wrist, this part, there are a lot of tendons here. Like don't massage this part. You want to massage the muscles. Like same thing with your ankles. If let's say your ankle hurts, let's see, I'm not going to show my foot. But let's say this is your leg, and then this is like the ball of the ankle. So normally there can be pain like around here or like at the top of the foot. like this. Actually, I can kind of like show it on this. I think I'm talking about this too because I'm still like quite tired and where is it? I'm still quite tired and I'm just like procrastinating. So let's say if you're hurting here, like let's say if you have injury, like tightness here, that's like pain here, I mean, at this section or this section, or the Achilles tendon, or like even here, the tendons here, you don't want to massage these areas. You want to massage like the tibialis on the shin or the calf muscle, like here, or like let's say if you have injury like me where the outer tendon on the like around the ankle hurts because I have compression here, then you want to massage the two muscles over here. I think they're called the peroneus. So you want to massage this, like never ever massage the tendons because tendons don't like to be stretched. Okay, I think that's enough for today. And I think I am oriented enough to start on this. Okay, let me just set up my file because I want it to look good on the screen, but I also don't want to like burn through my let me see how much battery do I have. Okay, I don't want the iPad to get warm, so I think, I'm not sure, do I want to work on this first? Maybe I'll work on this first. So I'll hide this, post-process. Yep, that looks good. Do I want lighting? I think no, it's a bit distracting. Okay. Actually, this is also a bit distracting. Maybe is it you? Ambient occlusion has this dotty look when rotating. It gets really distracting when I'm sculpting, so I'll turn it off. And if you want to follow my settings for post-processing, let me just quickly go through it. This one I think is default. I'm not sure if this is default, but you can just screenshot this. I'm gonna hide this now. And then this one, I think I adjusted it. Tone mapping, I think also adjusted it. Curvature, you can follow this number here, BFC1FF, and then 0D2F33. Then chromatic aberration, vignetting, grain, and sharpness. I think that's about it. And something else is I've been kind of like playing around lighting and environment, using individual lights along with the environment. And something that I noticed that really makes the mesh really pop in this specific lighting is to keep a really dark environment. So it's not really that obvious. It just gives a little bit, like let's say for this section here, it just gives a little bit of kind of like global illumination too. But I find that when this one is bright, it kind of like loses that punch effect. Although I wonder whether this is better for showing on screen. like it might be more visible this way. So maybe I want to write this value down though, because 0.025, so that if I change this, I know what to change it back to. But I think looking at the screen, I think this one looks fine. I'm also contemplating, like, should I sculpt like this when I'm working on the scale armor pieces for the tutorial? There's something that I think about, but I think I'll use this. These are the colors that I like for my viewport. 353142 and 1B1215. I like these colors for my viewport. Like, it was just some random colors that I picked out, and then I've been using it ever since. And then the matte cap that I like to use is this. I think like this specific lighting, so I've tried this lighting on a few of my other sculpts, but I'm not really sure. I think it works better for these kind of colors, I think. Like vibrant colors. Then this one, I'm not sure whether you can copy this because I will just like quickly flash it on the screen. And of course I renamed the lights just to keep it neater. So like, let's say the object is here. I'll show like my top view on where these are positioned, like this. And then for the front view, they're just around here, so you can just like create them and then move them around to match your stuff. And I really need to start working on these. Oh, his sword is like, I'm not really sure whether, I need to, sometimes my Apple Pencil, because I worked on my sculpt, like another sculpt for like about 4 hours yesterday, and then Apple Pencil lost battery, so I have to switch this on to like adjust these with my hand, but I tend to keep this off because there are too many accidental like adjustments that I'll make if this is turned on. Okay, and now I can work on this for real. I feel more awake now. That's good. Here's something that I realized, that I don't need these, so I can delete this. Where are you? Really important to have a organized outliner, because when you start working on lots of stuff, see, like, you can see how I can find the things I need very easily. That's because I've done the tedious work of like renaming everything, instead of it being like object 1, object 2, spear 1, spear 2. Like, that's going to be insane. So this one, I think I like the placement of these characters here, and I like this this I use this for the second YouTube tutorial thumbnail, like this shield, and then I replace it with the Nomad Sculpt. Like I drew in the Nomad Sculpt icon break thing. Yeah, it's so cute. I feel like it really matches him. Okay. In some sense, I like the way that the sword is going around, even though they are really random. Like, I also like how the light is hitting them. But maybe I want to adjust. You see, like, this is too bright. So but I don't want it to cast a shadow on this. Can I just make them float then? Like, I guess it doesn't matter, right? Like, it's cute this way. Cute and dangerous. Like, it kind of fills up the empty spaces. Maybe like this. Yeah, you know what? Maybe it really doesn't matter. Like, I feel like when I adjust it, it becomes worse. I feel like it's always the case. Like, when I do really random accidental adjustments, it's fine. Like, it looks nice. And then once I start being intentional about things, I'm like, oh shit, like, it doesn't look any better. Or like, it looks worse. But maybe I'll adjust this a bit like that. I think this is still better. I always feel like shit when like I try to do intentional adjustments and then it's not working out. Like, the reason why these are all like this, because when I'm moving the arm like this, the swords are parented to the arms. So since I want to keep these the way they are, I will unparent my swords like this. And then I'll do this so that they're separate. Let me see. It's getting a bit messy, so and then I want to work on this dude. Is it warm? Oh, the iPad's fine with this. Okay, so I've isolated this dude. I just keep that dude there because it's not in the way. But I think this is in the way, so I think I should. Oops. I hope I didn't click anything weird. I keep forgetting that the keyboard is connected to my PC and not my iPad. So So normally when I start working on something, I will see how the world is oriented first, because it's really easy to like just work like this, and then when you zoom out and overlay the grid, then it's like, oh, it's like slanted. So it's always good to orientate first, and then now I start working on this. So I know that this is good because it's standing upright in the wall. Then I will rotate this. I'm not really sure whether I want to keep the hands like not like this, because the original Mesmer hand was holding this thing. It was holding this, so that's why it's curved up like that. But I'm not really sure whether or not I want to spend the time to do that and be like more Jojo accurate, but maybe I should. I wonder whether I want this to be higher up. And I think so the side, I like that the hands are coming out from the 45 degrees, but I think I might need to break this up now. So the way that I normally break things up would be to duplicate the object. So I just duplicate with a clone. I don't want it to be instant. And then I trim off like that. You can choose to split the object up. Let me drink some water. So you can choose to split the object up, but I think when you split objects, I think they undergo some sort of voxel remesh or something, because I realized that I lose a lot of detail that way. So for something like this, which is quite low detail, it's fine to do that, but it's just a habit that I have. It's just a habit that I've been doing for a long time. So let me make it more like a ball joint, like this. I mean, it really doesn't matter. I think, and then turn on dynamic topology and smooth this out a little bit. Sometimes when I'm smoothing things out and it's like it feels really slow to create the shape that I want, then I'll just reduce this. You can see, like, because there's a lot less polygons, it will like average out a lot faster this way. So that's just like that's a hack that I like to do for smoothing out objects. So I have this one. Now I need the forearm. So I'll do the same thing. Let me just put this up here. So that looks good. And then I can do that. I think the other thing would be, not right now, what I'm thinking about that because the form over here is like this, that maybe I'll prefer it to just be mirrored. So let me look at the rasp first. So I have this. So I want to keep this fist. So I have one, no. So a lot of the poses have an open hand. So I want to keep this hand in case the pose has some sort of close hand interaction. But then what do I do? Is this one already? Yeah, this one's already split. So I've done the same thing for the legs, where like you saw one of the legs was already attached. So I've mirrored this, or more like instanced them, I think. Yeah. So these two are instances of each other. And I'll demonstrate how I do it with this one. So you can see that this corner bird, let me just make sure that it's correct. So one way that I like to check that my symmetry is correct is to force the mirroring. And I went through this in my symmetry tutorial. But I think I didn't really have the time to talk about. I guess I will talk more about it in my part 2 and 3 of symmetry tutorial. Is that I use this feature sometimes to just check like my work. So you can see like this is a little bit of the difference, but it doesn't matter. I think it's more of a painting anyway. So the painting is off-centered. I mean, not symmetrical. But everything else is symmetrical. So this way I know that the gizmo and the symmetry plane is centered in the slime ball. I mean, the gizmo is separate, but I know that I didn't change the gizmo at all. So with that in mind, I can create a mirror repeater like this. And you have to have the gizmo tool selected for this to be available. I'm not really sure whether this works the same way. But I want to create the mirror repeater on the same position, like including the rotation and the translation. So I create mirror like this, and then I'll drag this out because I don't want this to be mirrored. I want this to be mirrored. So I'll drag this down. Not sure whether I should be putting the arm up there, but it's too late. So now you see it's mirrored perfectly in the middle line. Or at least, I mean, this is just like some random work that I'm doing. So it doesn't matter. And now that this is already mirrored, I can... The problem with this now is that if I rotate one side, if I move one side, it will be reflected on the other side. So I can validate this. Let me just check that everything else is fine. Actually, I want this to be here. So now that I have the hierarchy done, then I can validate this and keep instances like this. And I say yes. So what this does is to create separate objects for the other side. But, and let me just do this because I don't want this one. So now I have two groups, one for the left hand, one for the right hand. And I guess I'll just rename this left. And then this one right. And this one will be independent of the other side. You can see now I can change this. But because it's an instance, if I draw on this, it will reflect on the other side. So now that that's done, and this is why, like for a while when I first started doing the instance and all that stuff, I was kind of wondering like why. Wait, you know what? I think I want to. Let me see. I was like wondering why the gizmo can't be like this, can't be like mirrored over to the other instance, especially when it comes to scaling them. Like I want the other one to be scaled at the same time. But like now I can see like why it's good that the gizmo tool is independent for each of them, so that you can post them up like this. Like that. But I guess I do wish that there's a way to... Oh wait, can I do this? No. Okay. I was kind of wondering whether or not that would like mirror the gizmo to the instance, but it didn't. I'm thinking. There's always a lot of thinking when making your own stuff. It's quite hard sometimes. You know what? I'll do this. So I was thinking about whether or not I should mirror the limbs now. Okay, so obviously, or I guess not that obviously, both. Let me see what I'm as confused as you guys are. Okay. So maybe this is like too much work. Like maybe it's a lot less work for me to just smooth this out. So I'll just do that. And it's too blocky, so I'll do this. Actually, is it too much work? Maybe it's not too much work. If you're wondering why I am this slow sometimes, it's because I'm as confused as you guys are. You know what? It's too much work for like what this is supposed to be. Let's just I guess I'll just fix this up whenever I need to. No one's going to no one's going to notice anyway. I guess this one. Okay, so I'm not going to use this. I guess I'm not going to use this after all. And I'm not sure whether or not I will regret this decision. But the good thing is that now I have this mirrored, so that's good. And I will take this out and delete this, because it's a lot easier to adjust this hand to do that rather than this one. Are they different sizes? I guess they are different sizes. Okay, so let me delete this one. Yeah, typically it takes a really long time for me to do anything. But hopefully that will give you some, I don't know, reassurance that there's someone slow like me out there. Okay, so because this was a duplicated object, the pivot point is at a different place. So I have a key press for this button, and this button, you can use it for adjusting the pivot point like this, so that I can pivot here. And then always orientate yourself. If your scene is like mine, where like everything is up in the air and you like, it's a bit hard to tell which orientation everything is. And the way that I like to move things around when I'm trying to keep the view like this is to move things by one axis at a time like this. Although sometimes it's a little bit hard to select the correct axis. So something like this would be good. And then the other side. I guess it's a little bit lower down. And then let me see the rotation. Is the rotation fine? Oh, is this better? Maybe like this. And then back to front. See, when the pivot point is at the right place, it's easy to rotate things around properly. And then, wait, is it even the right place? I spoke too soon. Is it the wrong place? Let me... Wait, why is it so off though? Yeah, I'll just adjust it. This is the top line. So one axis at a time, just move things slowly it's better to move things slowly than to ruin everything with super fast stuff. So I want this to be aligned, and then this to be aligned, this to be aligned, this to be aligned. What else? And then this should be good enough. Then isolate it just to check what I have to work with. And then let's just fix this up a bit. My anatomy sucks, so I'm just going to do what I think might look fine, and I'll just fix everything later on. I think that's why I always tell myself, like, oh, I'll just fix that later on, and then I end up having like hundreds of things to fix later. Then this one is also not aligned. I don't really, I think what happened was that I've already adjusted these pivot points at like midway through sculpting Masma, but then as I was working more and like, so once his pose is already settled, then I started like merging things together, started like working on like minor adjustments like that. Oh, I don't want this to be instance. So you can see like the hand was instance, but I know that the hand is going to be different. So I need to uninstance this. And when things are uninstanced, you can see that the color, this like pill shaped color block is gone. So that's how you know that it's not instance anymore. I think. Why is this instance? Okay, what? Is it because of this? Okay, it's good that I catch this early because like when I'm working on this, like it's very hard to look at the others. But I definitely don't want this to be instance 2. So I make sure that the hands are I think I can safely just uninstance everything. Okay. And then I'm not sure that this one has an instance. But before I forget, I want this to be bigger. Because Masma's hands are really big. It's like he has, I guess it's a thing of like the bosses of Dark Souls. They have super huge hands. Okay. So back to this one. Let's hide these again. So it goes under the face. So you can see like obviously the proportions are not the same, but I'll just have to, is this even correct? Yeah, I guess it is. I just have to work around what I have. So probably I want this a bit more forward than this one. Or maybe not. Sometimes it looks nice on one angle and shit in the other angle. Maybe this is the most that I will want to move the arm to, the shoulders, I mean. Seems like the elbow is below the eye line. So maybe I do want this to be lower. Just like push as much as I can to fit the, I think like this. And then there's like the curve here. So I will just do this, and then this will be like secondary fixes. Maybe it'll be better if I move this here. Now the legs. I think the legs are pretty close. But look at the, yeah, it's not. I'm really just moving one axis at a time. Like, it's a lot more comfortable. Okay, so it's nice that his butt cheek is showing through like that. And then I guess the angle is fine. I wonder whether this leg has to be really far back. Like the foot is quite high up. But I think this is the most that I'll do. Quite close, right? I think that is Josuke done. And just check the other angles because this is a 3D scene. Make sure that everything is working in the different angle. I think this one is too far right now. So like looking at the top view, like the way that I like to think about moving the gizmo is that I try to think of like which axis align to which one, and then, oh, I see a new comment. Wait a minute. And then, so like when I rotate this, I know for sure that it's like rotating along this axis. So I know that it's doing this even though I'm looking from up here. So that's kind of like how I move things around properly. Like this, and then this one's a bit diagonal, so I need to be more careful of this. Like that. Like you just have to be careful when everything is diagonal. And then I think like this. So top view, because like when you're doing this, you're probably putting it near your face. Thing like that is good. And then just for good measure, I'm going to check, and it looks pretty good with the lighting, so it's fine. Hello, Leia's Contemporary. Thank you for tuning in. What iPad is this? It's the latest iPad M4 with 16 gigs of RAM. But I I only just got this recently. So the previous iPad that I was using is the Generation 1 iPad Pro, which is the 2015 version, which I think it was the first iPad Pro ever released, which I guess is like, was it 10 years ago already? I mean, close to 10 years. What am I thinking? Yeah, it's like about 10 years, I guess. So I was using that. That one has 2 gigs of RAM. And I haven't really been changing my process that much, except for because I have a lot more RAM now. I have, because I have more RAM, I can squeeze in more objects into one scene. But like, let's say if I'm using the old iPad Pro, then I'll be keeping these 3 groups as like separate files. And then like if you don't have a lot of RAM, you might not be able to use post-processing without like draining the battery really fast, I think. Or like without it lagging, maybe? Or maybe post-processing is fine. But the lit PBR mode, I can't really like look around without lag with like this many objects in my old iPad. But yeah, old iPads still work really well. Let me choose my, actually I think I need to do a toilet break. Let me write it somewhere, like as a trademark, maybe here. Is this enough? No. Maybe a bit more. I forgot to set this to local. Oh my god, I'm so picky. No. Okay, it looks a bit. You can make it smaller. This is why I work so slow. My OCPD gets in the way. Okay. Oh wait. You can see how the crease brush with dynamic topology can create like a drawing light effect. Why is it not mirrored? Did I adjust it without knowing? Or is the symmetry line, I don't know anymore. You can see like how the symmetry line is a bit off. It's going to do this kind of shit. Okay. Is it visible here? I think it's visible, right? Okay, it's visible enough. Take a short break. I am back. The sun is crazy. I guess it's not too bad. Let me just test like how this will bend. Like maybe I can just do like a barrel roll on this. So this one goes up a bit like this. So like this, and then like in some sense when you're drawing, normally you want to kind of like exaggerate the gesture, right? Like this point here, like that. So this is what I'm doing. Maybe it's not anatomically accurate, but I'm just thinking about the overall silhouette of this from far. But I guess it has to be a bit rounder like that. And then I want to affect all the fingers. So normally I'll look at where the center line is. So in this case, the center line is, sure I should move this a bit. The center line is like the center of gravity in some sense is over here. So I will work from this point instead of like working from here. You can see like it skews differently. So I'm always thinking about the different axes and working on different axes. Working on single axis, I mean. So that I think like that was affecting this part too much. So I've used a smaller brush size. Okay, I think this is better. It's not perfect, but yeah. I have to remember like what this is for. It's for fun. Cause like sometimes you need to do like this kind of fun shit to like get going when life gets tough. Okay, the pinky finger is, and while I'm doing this, I'm making sure that dynamic topology is not on, because let's say if it's on, I don't want it to like become. I like the resolution of this, like it's good enough. Okay. So now that I'm working, now that it's getting closer, I'm starting to work with one finger at a time. Make sure that it's of course this is the first time that I'm doing this, so obviously I may be making quite a lot of mistakes, but I just work one axis at a time. So right now I'm working on the top view, like this. And then the nails being crooked really doesn't matter. What matters more is that the angle of the nails is correct. So I think the fourth finger is settled. So now I'm going to mask this out again. Try to mask like the center. I'll try to mask at areas where the detail is very flat, I guess. Because you can see that because I was moving things around that it started warping the mesh at the boundary line. So I tried to keep the boundary line at an area where like the detail is not really there. Then that way when I smooth it out later, it's going to be easy. So front, again, always remember to orientate yourself. And then from the top view, and because the mesh is not, the topology is not different, I know that as long as I try to keep the volume, the shape of the fingers correct, like how it was in the original pose, that I shouldn't have an issue with the overall. I can smooth it out too if I want to. Something like that. Actually, wait, no. I just realized that Smooth tool has dynamic topology. I just want to smooth out the really rough areas without affecting the what's that? The topology. So something like this, and obviously it's curving a lot more, but I need to make sure that I'm at the correct view. Can I turn this around? Sometimes it's easier to just, like, let's say I mask this part, so that only this one is masked. Then now I will use the gizmo tool to rotate as like the best that I can. So from the front view now is working. Can even move it. Like, don't move it too much because you don't want to warp the mesh. So something like this, and then when I remove all my masking, now I can go in here and make it a bit less stretch, like this, and fix this part too. Smooth it out without dynamic topology turned on. Like that. So these two fingers are done. So it's not too bad. Then when it's like closer to the original, now it's a lot easier to use the drag tool to like emphasize the curve, like that. And then maybe I want to rotate this. Yeah, maybe I want to rotate this one a bit. And the good thing is that some of the other poses have this hand, so I can do a good job for this one. So let me do a good job of this one, and then and then just duplicate this. So invert that, rotate this. Sometimes it's better to align the gizmo first, and then why you not align? Oh. And then now the rotation should be better. Yeah, I think that's good enough. And also can exaggerate that hyperextension. Then clear this. I have the invert and clear mask as a shortcut button here because I think I can't remember what the shortcut is for it. Just more straightforward to me for the mask to be like for clearing and inverting mask to be here. Then this finger is broken, so let me fix that. But I guess I'll fix it with this mask. So mask this up. Make sure that the other side is correct, because you don't want it to be wrong at the other. This is a 3D object, so it has to be correct at all angles. Something like this. This is not the best hand. It's not the best fingers, but it's usable. Something like this. And then I want to rotate this one. So I select this one, make sure that is correct. Something like this, and then invert this. Make sure that the gizmo is aligned. And then I can move it up here too. And then move it up like that. Then clear mask. And okay. Then put this thing put this back. Then last one, second last one. Just make sure that everything is. This one doesn't really have that much to do. I just need to mask this out. And then invert this, rotate this. Like so. And that's all fingers of the thumb too. Smooth this out. It's a little bit hard to pivot around small objects because you have to like click on it to pivot around it, but then it's very easy to like click elsewhere and pivot around something else. You see, like that. Maybe I need to slow down. Okay. Thumb left. So if you're doing like this, so I guess the thumb is quite high up. Can I just move this? Maybe I can. I don't want. Okay, now I can move this. Doesn't really matter if that part is off. I'm just using my hands as a reference. Okay. It doesn't really have to be that accurate too, because I just need that silhouette like this. Okay. Then fix this. Because this one's a bit high up. This angle is a little bit not. Let's get some volume back on the thumb. I just need it to be hidden because it affects the silhouette. Then this part. I think that's good enough. Make sure that there's a nice curve to the edges. Like this. And then ta-da, it's done. This might be cute like this. Like, Masculine has claws anyway. But I think maybe I should rotate this. Oh no. Or maybe I just move this. Something like this. Make sure that this one doesn't have an instance with another arm. I think this is good enough for this arm. Isn't it beautiful? It's so pretty. And then just make sure that the center of gravity feels correct. So it kind of looks like he might fall. So I'm rotating this a little bit. so that he looks more stable. And then this one has to rotate more like this way. And I guess all the skewing kind of removed quite a lot of the volume. Actually, this one is too high now. Okay, I think that's enough for this one. I think working on the hands is a little bit, especially when all the fingers are attached together, it gets a little bit tedious and it takes a while. I remember it was quite tedious to adjust the hands when I was working on Mesmer too. Especially because like I had to change the grip to like this for him to hold the spear. And that one takes quite a while to adjust. I want to give some knuckle volume. I think it's my first time doing this pose for hands. That's why it's taking a while to. And just making sure that every angle is right. From the top too, on the side. I think that's good. Actually, this one looks a bit thin now. Does it look a bit thin? Oh, I guess it's more of like it should curve up even more. So I'm going to do this, invert this, and then just rotate. That looks beautiful. Clear this, and then final smooth. Beautiful. And I guess it lost some volume at the fingertips too. Okay, then check this and make sure that where's the reference? make sure that the connection is good, like that. Now we can move on to the next one, this one. And this one's done. This one, I forgot which pose this was. Was it just, no. Okay, maybe I can do this one since it's, I've been working on this hand. So I can clone this. Where are you? Here. Then which one are you? And I guess I'll group this just so that it's less confusing. Oh my god, I hope I didn't like click anything weird. I keep forgetting that my keyboard is now connected to this. You know what, maybe I should just connect the keyboard. So I have this one, I have the hand, and where is this bottom one? Maybe I should put this here. So I want this hand to be replaced. Where, okay, it's this one. So let me just go ahead and move this. Wonder if this snap, is it? Yeah. Let me turn off this. I hope I don't have to change it that much, but it might be a bit hard. So I want to make sure that it's aligned correctly to the arm, like that. And then make sure that facing the front. So it's going out a bit. So I should fix the, actually wait. Yeah, I think for both of them the elbow is sticking beyond. So I should do the same thing, I think. It doesn't matter. So I know that the elbow of the shoulder is quite high up there. And then the elbow is like this. Maybe like this. And then it goes back in, I guess. Yeah, I know that these poses are also exaggeration. Maybe if I put it up a bit. It doesn't, because this slime doesn't have a torso, so it doesn't have to be the same. but maybe something like this is good. I'm jealous of this flexion. Like I can't bend. You can see why I injured my finger, because my flexion this way is so bad. Like this is the most that I can bend. And as I mentioned earlier, if your flexion this way is bad, most likely your forearm muscles here are tight. So make sure that you work out the forearm muscles. I think there's like some, if you look at arm wrestlers, they're good at training their forearms. And also stretch this way if you can. Okay, so I guess this one is good, but maybe I want it more forward. Oops, you're blocking the way. As long as wait, is it broken now? As long as the limbs don't really look broken. Yeah, as long as it doesn't look broken, I'm happy. Why are you not? What the hell? Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot that when I split the object that it doesn't reflect because okay, so let me get this and I'll just clone this arm. I don't want to instance this. Do I want to instance this? Do I want to instance this? I guess I just I want to instance this. So with decisions like this that takes up so much time, I think maybe for now I'll instance them. So let's instance this. Yeah. I think, but I don't want the group to be instance. I don't want the hand to be instance. Actually, does it make sense to instance? Maybe not. Okay, this one is the oh, and the other thing is I want this fist. Okay, so this one. Actually, do I want fist? I guess I'll just keep it there for options. So let's. So this one, I think should be maybe more like this angle, is it? No, wait, this is the wrong arm. So maybe like this. And then okay, now I can delete this one. I'm not sure, like, do I want a closed fist or not really sure how the snapping's working. Do I want a closed fist or an open one? And I need this to be flipped. Can I flip it? Okay. Do I want, like, will it, I guess I like the sword this way. So the angle of the sword and everything's good, but I'm not sure whether or not if I do it as a fist, like, will it break the look of the silhouette? I guess not. So I think this is good. Because he's not holding a bag, he's holding a sword. But I will need to fix this. Let me just snap this to this first. Like, match it to this. And then rotate this way, and to match the sword, do I want the sword to be more angled? I probably want it to be more angled. So maybe that will be good. And then now I can parent the hand to the lower arm and move it like this. So that's too high. See, so like it's a lot easier to adjust the overall shape of the arms when like the connections of the different limbs are correct first. And that's why, even though the hand was aligned to the sword, I decided to, why is this so off? I decided to align it to the limbs first, and then everything else will follow. Oh, hello Sculptura. I'm glad that you can witness this this stream. Thank you for coming again. Okay. I don't know why is this so off? It doesn't matter. Okay, I think that's pretty much this pose. It's quite cute. Just make sure that, oh man, it seems like the, what's that? Okay, let me see this. Can I update? Maybe I can update this view. Which view is this? Oh yeah, so the reference images are linked to the views. Not really sure whether I like that. Oh, but I guess it makes sense for if let's say you're modeling Josuke and you want the view to be aligned. I'm not sure whether I want this to be straighter or no, I think this is fine. So just making sure that, is it too high? I guess it's maybe I want to let me see. I want to adjust this independently like that. To know. Okay, let's parent the SWOT to everything first, and then I will adjust this overall so that this is aligned. I think that's better, I think. And then make sure that the SWOT is not cutting through anything, but it's also not. Make sure that it's changing the pivot to the hand so that I can rotate it like that, and make sure that it's not hovering in the air. I think that looks good. And then yeah, not really sure if like should I be super accurate? Actually just rotate this a bit and then rotate. Make sure that in the lighting it's good. Oh, it's nice that it's catching a little bit of that light over there, I think. Yeah, I think that's pretty nice. Let's go back to this. Oh, it's cutting in now. It's cutting himself. Oh no. Gee. Nice. And before I just need to remember that there's this notch that I want to fix. am I doing? I think because for the Wielder sculpt, like the Elden Ring sculpt, the characters are all still aligned to the world origin, but that's why the symmetry is at world origin. But obviously this one is not aligned to the world origin, so I just need to remember. I just need to remember that to switch the world origin, I mean the symmetry plane to local. Okay, so that fixed that. I'm not sure how sharp or like angled it's supposed to be, but I think that's fine. Let's work on this one. This one was, which was it, Joseph's pose? Let me change this reference. Maybe open hand. The hands are very different. Just thinking, should I just grab Mesmer's hands before I combine them together or something? Do I? Actually, maybe that makes more sense. Just looking at my, sorry, my old files are like really messy, but I was looking at the old stuff, and I guess I worked on his hands like really early, and I don't have a hand that is like separated and all good. So oh well, things fine. I'll just, where's that file? This one. I was looking through my Nomad Sculpt to find a hand that hopefully was like split apart, but I should have saved it. No mind. I guess this one is good enough for this, maybe, I think. But I guess if that's the case, then I'll work on this one first. Where is it? I'll work on this one first because, is it too bright? No, it's not too bright. Is this the same? It's the same hand, right? Is it the same hand? Let me just. Are you the same hand? It's a bit hard to see. Okay, so I'll duplicate this. Man, do I need the instance? I feel like that's always the burning question. Like, do I instance or do I not instance? Because like sometimes it sucks when like you don't instance it and then later on you realize like, oh man, I should have instanced it. Holy shit. I think all the groups are, oh my god, bad. The groups are like, okay, so when I was adjusting all these things, I'm moving the object and not the group that is on. So you can see like the group icon is over here. So I can just, with the gizmo tool, select object only. I'm not really sure what each does, but I know that this one works for me. So if I only have the group selected, I can move this like that. And then now I can go back to auto so that the group affects everything. This is just like a housekeeping kind of step. You can see like the group is all the way there. I don't know like what the hell it's doing. Do I really need the group? Maybe I don't need the group. You know what? I don't need the group. What am I using the group for? I don't remember. I always forget stuff like this. I'm feeling that the group was more of like okay, I don't know. Okay, let's just delete it. It's not useful. Keep doing this kind of shit to myself. Okay, where is this? Oh, it's here. What's this? Oh, so. Okay, let's. So like sometimes you want group, sometimes you don't want. It really depends. Which one's the top? This is the top. Oh wait, I'm supposed to post this way. Straight arm with a bit of hyperextension. So like when you want to hyperextend things, like let's say if this is the delts, and then I don't know all the other anatomy, but I mean normally you can't like draw like this, right? But then if you want to do like the hyper extension, then you want like this, like kind of like a little soft bend than this like just being completely straight. So something like that. So let's do that hyper extension. This is getting distracting, so I can I can delete this now. And I want the brachialis to be, I guess, like that. Please ignore my bad anatomy. I don't know shit. Wait, no, I think this has to be okay. So one angle fixed. I'm going to look at the front now, and I guess it should be more forward, just to be the same as everyone else. Like this. Rotate the dots a bit. I think this one's wrong. Wait. Maybe it's too. And there's like a difference between hyperextending and dislocation. So you don't want to overdo it. Obviously, because like this mesh is more optimized for a bend position. But is this instance? I guess it's instance. I'm not sure whether affecting this will affect everything else, so I'll just try to hide that bump a bit with the forearm. Like this. And then wait, let me the top. Ew, actually this is completely wrong. It has to be like this. Sometimes you have to do the pose yourself and realize, okay, am I looking at my own arm right now? Okay, maybe like this. Anatomy is so hard. But I think like this is inside. Brachialis is pointing forward. But I think my mesh has kind of like the basics of the anatomy roughly fine enough for this non-official work anyway. Actually, something that I should have done is to fix the pivot point on the original hand, so that when I duplicate the hand, like all the pivot points would be correct. But instead, I stupidly just like clone it and then fix the pivot point on the clone object. Oh, I keep making stupid shit like that. Okay. Does it need to be extended? You know what? I think this one's better. No! I put in so much work to do this. You're here. I'm talking to the outliner right now. You're here, I want you here. And let's bring you behind. Because it's a lot easier to adjust overall fingers rather than to adjust individual joints. So I will do that. You saw how long it took for me to... Oh my god, stop it. You saw how long it took for me to adjust the... Okay. I think that's good. Let me just keep this in case, but I'll delete this later. And I'll clone this and flip this. Which okay. Z-axis is good. Oh, damn it. It's a little bit hard because this hand is at the back behind all these things. So I think I will hide this dude. Just making sure that I didn't do something extra to it. And then hide this first. So I can, because the fingers are, I mean, it's not really that great. So I should delete this one because I want the other hand to have the same adjustments. So something like this should be good enough. Maybe the pinky is still a bit too thin, but I'll do it later on. So I want it spread apart. And I can do that with the cell mask. So I'll select the object that I want to adjust like this. That's good. Invert this and then can use face group for these kind of things, but should I do face group? I think that mine don't need. Maybe I'll regret later. Oh well. So I want to pivot it here so that it opens up like this. And then I'll mask this. I'm still not used to my hotkeys for masking, so I need to like think for a second before I hit the hotkey. So hyperextended thumb, hotkey. Thumb is a bit weird. I think that looks good. And let's just adjust this. And I guess it has to be rotated. So I'll rotate this. Make sure that the axis aligns first. And then I can rotate this. Where are you? But I don't want to do a full rotation. I want to get this one now. And then now I rotate it a little bit more. That way the mesh is not very deformed. So the same thing, rotate this a bit until the thumb is facing the right direction. Like that. Then now I can clear everything and smooth this out. Use the what's inflate? Use the inflate tool to just create a quick volume, especially the, oh my god, what is that? Oh, it's late. So I think that is good enough. And then based on where the nail is, I want to draw the like crease lines, and then just move that out a bit. And crease is very good for wrinkles on the skin, for clothes folds. Oh my god, it's intersecting like crazy. And then this one, I think, yeah, maybe I should rotate this a bit. So invert this. Make sure that the axis aligns and is in the middle of the knuckle, something like this. And then let's open this a bit. Then this one is fine. I will need to open this too now. I'm trying to keep them spaced evenly apart too. So same thing. I don't want this two to intersect though. So I'll do this one first. I think something like that is good. And then invert this. And then let me think. Okay, so if you open this way, I think maybe like this is kind of safe. I'm also looking at the overall shape, and then because it's a little bit thin, I want to use the inflate brush right now. Keep forgetting my hotkeys. On the knuckles. If you're wondering, this is kind of like just the stuff that I do for my tutorials. Like wherever you see my tutorials, I'm just spending the time to the work has to be done. I think that's good enough. But then it's like part of it, like I don't mind doing the work because like I like doing the work. So it's all good for me. Like I think if I'm doing something that I don't enjoy, then I probably need to like sit myself down and be like, why am I not enjoying the work? Because it doesn't make sense for me to spend the time on something that I don't like. And of course, like choosing the right subject matter for yourself. Like I really like Jojo. I like Dark Souls. Is this too big now? Okay, then the last one, this one, I will clear the mask again. I'm not sure it's everyone's, but like my fourth finger is quite thin. So I I do make the forefinger like a bit thinner, but maybe I should like thicken it up a bit. Sometimes you can just gizmo tool it and then make sure that seems like, yeah, it's pretty even. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, then I can clear the mask and smooth this out. And again, no dynamic topology because the mesh is already done. And the overall volume should be the same. Like, let's say if you make adjustments and then wait, why is this so flat? I always look at my own hand when I'm sculpting hands. It's just a lot easier to look at it. And there's like this point here. I feel like the thumb is like so big. Now that it's straightened out. But I guess doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's like so far away. It's gonna be. Oh man. Maybe it does matter. Actually, what I guess I did rotate it too much. Oh damn it. Wait, no, they are. Yeah, I think I rotated it too much. Okay, let me fix this. And I also want to make it smaller. But to fix it, I'll just do the same thing. I need to think. So I want to align the axis again. Align the axis like this. I mean, it doesn't really matter, I guess. And then from the front view, because like the angle of the thumb is a bit 45 degrees. So I think something like that is good. And then high up a little bit. Fingers are a delicate area to work on. Because like they're essentially five different. Why are you? They're like 5 different tubes attached to kind of like a box-like object. I'll say that I don't really enjoy moving around the viewport when I'm working on something like this. You can see how often I keep like jumping around views. But in terms of like the delicate nature of fingers, like one of the issues would be trying to keep the like cylindrical volume on all of them. Like that's something that I am always thinking about when I'm moving the fingers. So I'm like looking at the different angles and be like, did I lose volume over here? Did I lose volume on this angle? Because it really maybe because like it's like the thing of when people have been staring at something for so long, I mean, especially my hands, like I look at my hands so much, then when you lose volume, like let's say if I do this, Okay, let's not make it so obvious. You see like that? That's like, oh, it's quite off. It's very visible. So make sure that when you're working on hands that you always yeah, Jojo is cool. And yeah, I know, right? But I guess there's like this issue of like, if I'm doing guy's hand, then my hand is a girl's hand. But I guess like I just have to transfer the overall concepts of the hands. I think this one should be here, because I know that I kind of align the bracelet to the hands. Okay. But I guess I have to, like, when I question myself that way, I just think about how most dudes draw girls anyway. So it's like I'm just doing the same thing. I mean, it feels like the pinky is still, is it like it's long or it's okay? Let me just do a final adjustment. Okay, I'm going to use the gizmo and align this. I'm not really sure how to do this better. I'm always aligning the gizmo every time. Okay, then clear this and smooth this. And guess this should be quite. What, 20%? Are you serious? I really wouldn't spend that long. Clone this and then let's flip this around and then move this up here. I just realized that I named this live stream as Posing, Builder, and Mesmer, but then I haven't even started on that. Oops. Well, it always happens. I guess I should change the name. Let me see. Hand, delete. This one, parent. And then I like the angle of the arms, I think. Although maybe this can be a bit higher. And then okay, so now like the problem is that his hand, elbow, and the hand has to be below the face. Okay, I like the look of where this shoulder is, so I'm going to cheat a bit and angle this down a bit more, angle this up, and then bend it towards the camera. Wait, no, then I'll bend this here. I mean, it's quite hard. I didn't expect this difficulty. Okay, the forearm is aligned, so it's fine. Do I want it to be like this? Like, do I want the angle to match? But like, it's kind of cute that it's covering the whole the face. And then I will rotate this. Oh wait, the hand is a bit different. Oops. But I guess I can just work on that like another time, because that's a minor thing. Then for the legs, the legs mirrored. Yeah, so this leg is mirrored, and I guess I'll just bring this down just to make it neat, like that. I prefer the icons to be close to wherever it is, like what it's instancing. And I guess it's cute that it's quite close together and that the butt cheek is showing. Priorities. Yeah, I guess it's done. Okay. I mean, except for the hands, so I'll just keep a mental note that the hands are wrong. Then the last one, this one. So I'll take this leg. Okay, so like I can do this where I can duplicate this and move this here, but then I want this to be exactly in the middle. I want it to be exactly in the middle. So what I will do instead is to do the same thing where I'll add a mirror based on this. So add the mirror on the gizmo like this. Unparent the mirror, the object, and then bring this mirror down like this. And then because the pose is different, I will validate this and keep the instance. So I can delete this one now. And there's like rotation of the head and the hip, but like what can I do with this? So I'll just like rotate this dude. I guess bring it closer a bit. Look at those butt cheeks. Is it off scene? I guess not. I guess rotate. And then I guess it's wait, no, this one is straighter. I guess like this, backward a bit. I'm trying to imagine what there's a hyperextension, so this has to be like this, but it shouldn't be too much. Okay, I think that's enough. Then this one is just This one has to be behind. And then now it's about balancing the center of gravity of this character. Oh, actually, I made a mistake here. This leg should be in front. I think this. It's off-centered a bit. And check the lighting. Fabulous. It's so amazing. I want open hand. Wait, do I want open hand? I guess I want open. Thinking about it. Okay, I want open hand for this one. So open hand. Where's the adults? So the tricep is showing on that side. Like this. Where's this? And I guess I want the mirror again. For this one. Do I want this? I need to make sure that I save this fist. So I'll put it outside. I'll just put it up here to save it because I might need the fist. And then let's just restart this. Oh wait, no, I can't mirror this. I keep forgetting. Okay, sorry. Mirror, delete. Because there's like all these bunch of stuff for it. What's this? Okay, so I want this hand. I'll keep this hand. I'll delete this. And thumb is on the other side. Okay. Yeah, it's correct now. Yeah, I think this one's closer than the open hand for this side. Something like that looks good. I guess it has to be higher up. I hope that you guys don't mind that I have not touched Builder or Mesmer at all. But hopefully with this, if this live stream, you can see like how I adjust things based on. Is it very obvious that the arms are really different in size? Yeah, like how I adjust things. Wait, let me move this back. So I keep getting distracted. But how I adjust the reference to adjust it to match the whatever I'm working on. So I think that's like that's one of the most important thing to understand the subject matter so that you can apply it to your own things. Because like not everyone's going to like Jojo, or like not everyone likes cute stuff like I do. I think like this. Wait a minute, is the arm wrong? Okay, this is the side. What I'm saying is that it's good to not blindly copy things. Well, as a kid, I started doing art by copying things. But then it's also important to understand why you're copying rather than just like copy it for the sake of copying. I'm not sure whether I want this arm to be more in. Like, I don't think it can reach. Oh man. But I want some of the, is this Taurus Major or still delts to show. I think is this one wrong? Are you the wrong? Maybe like this. The only anatomy I know is like super basic stuff, and they're just things that I learn because I need them. I need to train them for climbing. But that's how I slowly learn all these things over the past few months. Also before this, like I didn't really know how the Taurus Major is. Okay, I guess I have to make do with this because there's a limit to how much this slime ball can extend. There's like a slight like outward bend on the arms, so I kind of need to follow. Do I need to follow that? I'm not really sure. Or maybe I'll bend this a bit more. Let me see. Which way looks better? Do I bend this more or do I bend this more? Like based on this. Maybe bending this more looks better. And it has to bend like forward a bit this way. When the gizmo is rotated like this, if I want it to go to that direction like this, then I just rotate 2 axes slowly at one time. Gradually it will go that way. It feels a bit slow though. Okay, so this one's good. I guess the thumb has to go up eventually, so maybe having the thumb intersecting, that doesn't really matter for now. And then maybe I just do this, like, creative decision, because it's kind of weird for the hands to look like this. So I'm just going to make a decision for myself to keep them a little bit apart this way. And check the top side. 10%. I guess I should end the stream when my Apple Pencil dies. I'm going to rename the stream. I didn't work on Wilder. On Wilder. I keep saying Wilder. I haven't worked on these dudes. But the good news is that these are done. I guess I didn't know exactly how long it'll take to adjust them. And like, I still don't know whether or not this is considered fast or slow. But I think it's like good time, maybe. Okay, let me. Beautiful. Wait, let me. Oh, look at the text effect. Okay, when I screenshot, I'm going to do that. Okay, let me move this to the center. Wait, centered. Okay. Oh man, it's so cute. Bam. The scale will be too big though. Yeah, I think it. Oops, no. Okay. I will update this. Yes. Oh man, it's so cute. I think this one, okay, now that I look at this again, like maybe it's better if the dots on the right side is hidden a bit more, maybe. Just a bit. Can peek to show some muscles, but okay. Cool. I'll end the stream here. I think for someone sleep deprived is not too bad. But I'm not really. Maybe I'll work on them the next stream. I'm just curious how it looks like. Not bad. So I think I'll work on this the next stream. I'm not really sure if. Yeah, I'm not really sure. But. Oh, I'm doing a mermaid piece right now. I can show it to you guys. Might do this on like another stream, but not like the one now. But I guess I just wanted to show because I finally found a use for my zoo animal sculpts. So for a while I had like a season pass on the was it just Rivers? No. A season pass to the Singapore Zoo, like all 3 of them. So for was it a few months? But there was like a few months or a few weeks that I was going to the zoo to make use of my season pass, and then I was sculpting these. Let me just hide the post-processing. Yeah, I was sculpting these, and it was pretty fun. Like just sitting down. I'm not sure that I didn't use my 2015 iPad because I think the battery would die before I can do anything. Like if you have the iPad Pro 2015 version, generation 1, you probably need to keep it plugged in all the time to do anything, like even YouTube or whatever shit. But I was using the iPad mini while sitting around at the zoo, just like at the different exhibitions that I really like. So these are the river safari animals. There's the dugong, which is also interesting fact. They are considered the mermaids of the sea. So I think I was like, oh cool, it fits this mermaid theme. I always wanted to do a mermaid theme art piece, so that's just how it is. Then these, I forgot what the names are. Did I write the names? Tarpon, the arapaima, they're freaking huge. Then tiny fish. And fun fact, like this was not this exactly, but this was one of my first ever Nomad Sculpt sculpt back before I knew about dynamic topology. Actually, the first one was pretty shit, and then you can see also like all the stretch mesh, because I didn't know that dynamic topology existed on Nomad Sculpt, and I didn't know how to use it. So you can see like all these like artifacting and all this stuff. Then after maybe 1 year or so of like sculpting something else, then I realized that dynamic topology existed. And so this mesh has been updated with dynamic topology. But even so, this was like one of my earlier sculpts, and it was really hard. Like this was super hard to me. I took too long on this. Like, too long. It was insane. And then you can see like this one I didn't have time to work on it. And also like the arapaima swims quite fast, and then it's like they'll come for like maybe like 4 seconds across, and then after that they drift off again. Then this one, they swim quite fast too, but at least there are a lot of them, so it was easy. And I was sculpting while I was sitting around this the biggest aquarium tank. So like imagine like the whole tank is a cylinder like this. One person is like a dot. It's not that big. I mean, in Singapore, not everything is relatively small compared to things overseas. But so the fishes will swim around like this, because sadly they don't have anywhere to go. So wherever I'm sitting, every time they cross the window, I'll be like, okay, let's sculpt now. So this was like, every time they come in, then I'm like, okay, let me do the mouth first, and then then do the shape, and then do like the front shape and stuff. I think the dugongs were a bit easier because sometimes they will hover around someplace, but I mean, like still looking through the aquarium is still, it's still pretty hard. But like the last session that I went, when I was sculpting this, when I was going home, because the zoo was closing up, I walked past a smaller tank at a different location, and like there were like a bunch of these fishes, the tarpon fishes, in that small tank, and the water is so much clearer, and I can see them up close. And I was like, oh man, like I spent so long just like waiting for them to like come by this super huge tank, and like the water is a bit like not as clear as I wanted it to be. Yeah, I could have just like spend more quality time on that tank to sculpt these guys. Anyway, there's a story about these fishes here. I had more fish sculpts during my first visit to the zoo and like sculpting on Nomad Sculpt outdoors for the first time. But because of the because I was confused with like these autosave and whatever, like how to save stuff or like even the rename function, I lost my files because of that, because I didn't save my file. But I guess the good thing about that is that I could I could remember it and give a good tip on my first tutorial video about file organizations and how to use the file step, because I lost a lot of my files, my early files, because of that. So I hope that if you are new to Nomad Sculpt and you watch the tutorial, that you wouldn't have to experience the same experience that I did of like losing losing so many. I think I lost 2 fishes because this was the only fish that I managed to save. But even so, like the progress was really shit. Like this is after like working on it the second time in the following year. So yeah. Anyway, the cool thing about this is that when I was experimenting the lighting for this shot, and so let's go back to, so I think the same thing applies to this, where my environment is pretty dark. Like I'm just using it to fill up these areas here. I think for this one, because it has an underwater feel, I used this HDR, and I don't have any custom HDRIs. I just use defaults for everything, and the exposure is pretty low. Then there are 2 lights. One is the spotlight that is facing down, kind of like, I guess I wanted to convey like the feeling of the sun coming down from the surface of the sea. And then there's one point light here to give a bit of like that blue color, just like the opposites. So like I try to light things in the opposite directions. Like if one is this way, then I'll want one to point like that way. Then that way you can have like nice rim lights like this. And then with post-processing, like look at this. And of course the hair is still like, I'm shaping it up, so you can see like with dynamic topology. Not sure whether, I think like my dynamic topology was like around this much, but that's why it became really polygonal. But when I finalize the hair, then I will start cleaning this up a bit. Yeah, but it's a cool thing. So yeah, I think one of the biggest learning points I had with lighting a shot in Nomad Sculpt is dark environments, and a spotlight is nice as the main thing. I think direction, if you use directional light, because you can choose the type of lights. Direction, I think it lights up everything too evenly, because like it will light like at a certain angle and it will hit everything, so it becomes less intentional. So for the things that I like to do, I think so far Spotlight has been pretty good. Because like direction light, if let's say the light is hitting her like this, it will also hit these areas here, and I don't really want that to happen. Let me turn off the grid. And then and the other thing that I realized is that I've been trying to use gradient for quite a lot of things, but it hasn't really worked out. And I realized it's because when you use the HDRI environment, the gradients on the HDRI is more like a curve. It's more organic. So the gradient is just like one color down up there and one color down here, and then it blends in a straight line. So I've been using environment for my background color a lot recently. Okay, that's about it for this. I'll head off now, and I hope that next stream I might work on this, I might work on something else. But maybe I'll work on this. I also have to think about what to work on, because I have a few projects like going on at the same time. Yeah, probably I'll work on this. Just like clean it up. I'm just thinking, can I get these done? You know what, maybe these will be faster than this, you know. I hope I'm not digging my own grave. Because the hands are the part that takes a long time. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next stream. Hope you enjoyed looking at my cute babies. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for